Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be starting off with a bare face because I'm actually going to be doing the first ever foundation review on my channel. Today I'm going to be trying out this guy right here. This is the Covergirl Trueblend Matte Made Foundation. This is a new Covergirl foundation. I have the color L30 to try out today. So what I will be doing is I will do pretty minimal makeup and then I will do check-ins throughout the day to see how it wears. If you are new to my channel, I have oily combination skin and I have pretty sensitive skin. I break out pretty easily and I usually like full coverage. So we'll see if this foundation works. So if you're interested in seeing what my review is on this foundation, you are in the right place at the right time. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and let's get started. So if you didn't notice, the background is new and different. I actually flipped where my desk is. So I used to film in front of this window right here because I didn't have any professional lighting and I just got a ring light. It was just my birthday. So I flipped everything around and this will be the trial video if I like the ring light and if the lighting is good and it helps with the quality of the video. I'm still trying to solidify like what the background really looks like. This picture I actually want hung. I don't want sitting on this Alex drawers, but we'll see. So the background will change throughout probably the next couple of videos. So I'm really excited to get started and film again. It's been a hot minute since I've actually sat down and filmed, and I know my post schedule has been a little bit funky because editing takes a lot of time and sometimes I just don't have the time to edit as much as I'd like to. But today I'm going to be trying out this new foundation. This is the Covergirl Trueblend Matte Made Foundation. I just want to read a couple of claims from the Covergirl website. So this foundation comes in a whopping 40 shades, which is really good, especially for a drugstore foundation. I really like the Covergirl Healthy Elixir foundation, but it does not come in a good shade range, so I'm really stoked about the shade range for this. Based off of the shade range, it looks like they do have a lot of light shades, a lot of medium tone shades, and a pretty decent amount of darker shades as well. Now, this foundation claims to be a 12-hour comfort matte foundation. It's pore minimizing, it has oil control, it's transfer resistant, and those 40 shades. I think I picked this up at my local Walmart for about $9. It looks like it's suggesting here you can get it on Amazon for $8.44 or Walgreens for $11.49, and it's usual that foundations and drugstore products are usually a little bit more expensive in the drugstore. So I'm really excited to give this a go. I don't know if the color is going to be a good match for my skin. This might be something I need to be a little bit tanner for. I'm pretty pale. I picked this up at Walmart and they did not have the shade L20, which is I think what my shade would be. They had L15, which I thought was a little light looking, and then they had L30. So I went a little bit darker thinking like I might get a little bit tanner throughout the summer. So we'll see if we like it. So the first thing I'm going to do is prime my face. So to prime my face, I'm going to use a primer that I know I like and I know how it performs. This is the Temptu Base Smooth and Matte Primer. I really like this primer. I've gone through I think 3 tubes of this already and I'm already almost through this one. It's like barely coming out. There we go. Now, this particular primer has like a little like applicator on the bottom. You can see these like little bristles. I don't usually apply it with the applicator, but I'm really to the end of this, so I just have been these last couple of weeks applying it with the actual applicator. This primer I really like. It is hands down my favorite primer. It makes my makeup last the longest, and like I said, I've been using this primer for a long time and it just seems to be what works for me. So I don't want to set myself up for failure and not use a primer or use a primer that I'm not super familiar with. So I want to try to use something that I think will work for the foundation. So now to jump into the foundation, I am going to do half of my face with a beauty blender and the other half of my face with a brush. So let's do a pump. I'm going to do like half a pump. Oh my god, this is so dark. This is really dark. I don't know if the light is picking up on it, but it's really, really dark, like orange. Now, it might blend out better, so we can hope for that. So this side, I'm actually going to use a brush. This is the Real Techniques buffing brush. This is my favorite brush to buff in foundation, and I usually try to stipple the foundation in to get the most coverage. I would say the coverage is light to medium coverage. It's definitely not full coverage. It does look a little bit patchy, and I don't love putting foundation on with a brush. I'm much more of a beauty blender gal, and it's so funny because I used to only apply foundation with a brush. So let me see what the beauty blender side looks like. And I might take my earrings out. Alright, I'm going to buff this in with a dampened beauty blender, and I'm using the black one. I think the black beauty blender is the best of all of them, and I didn't think a color made a difference, but in my opinion it does. I've tried the orange one and the pink one, and the black one is my favorite. So I definitely like the beauty blender better. It just seemed to buff it out easier, and it's a little bit more even looking in my opinion. So I definitely like the beauty blender more. So I'm just going to go over the other side that I used with the brush, and I'm just going to buff it out a little bit, make everything look even and seamless. And the foundation is definitely not a good shade match for me. Now it does buff out a little bit lighter than it appeared when it first put it on, but it is a little bit more orangey than I would like. I tend to like foundations that are a little bit lighter than they should be, than a little bit darker than they should be, because I don't like it when I have like an orange ring. It's sort of one of my pet peeves. All right, I'm gonna put my earring back in. So now that that's on, I'm going to put on some concealer to see if that buffs in well with it. And I'm gonna go in with the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer, and I'm in the color Light. And I'm not going to use a whole lot of this. First of all, I'm running out, and second of all, I really want the basis of this video to be around the foundation. So just a little bit under the eye area. That's all the concealer I'll actually be putting on today. To blend in very nicely with the foundation, and it definitely lightened my under eye. So I'm going to go ahead and set everything down. To set my concealer, I'm going to go in with the Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder, and then to set the rest of my face, again, I'm going to use a powder that I know works for me. This is the Maybelline Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the color 10 Fair Light. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I have finally set everything down. This is what my skin looks like. When I look at it closely in the mirror and in the light, I can tell that this is really not a good color match for me. It's not the worst thing that I've ever seen, but it's definitely not the best thing that I've ever seen. Everything looks really good otherwise though. I mean, it definitely looks like the coverage that I like now that I've applied a powder. I see my pores a little bit. I see some of my discoloration, but I do tend to like that a little bit. So far it looks pretty good. So I want to, off camera, I'm gonna finish off the rest of my makeup, and then we'll come back. I'll give you a check-in time so you know what time it is before I start, the longevity of the makeup, and then I'll go over the products that I use for the rest of my face. So I'll be right back. Alright, so we're going to start the check-in time for this foundation test as right now. It is currently 2:02. I don't know if you can see that. or 2:03 at this point. I have a pretty long day ahead of me. I have some cleaning I need to do in my apartment, some laundry, dishes. I have to run to the grocery store and some other things that I might be doing. It is very hot here right now in Pennsylvania. It is 94 degrees outside, so it's definitely very warm. So we'll definitely see if this can withstand some sweat outside. What I did for the rest of my face, just so you know, in terms of products, I used the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the light version for bronzer. For blush, I used the Lancome Sheer Amorose Oil-Free Blush. I love this. It's the only blush I own that I use. For highlight, I used the Wet n Wild Megaglow highlighting powder in Blossom Glow, which I also have been loving for the summer months. For eyebrows, I used the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz, and this isn't actually in the color Taupe. I've been trying out the color Taupe just in case I'd ever want to lighten up my hair to see what it makes them look like. It's very similar to Soft Brown, which is the color that I usually use. It's just a little bit lighter and a little bit more gray. So I think it doesn't define my eyebrows as much as Soft Brown, but I have been liking it. I set that down with hairspray in a spoolie, you know, rave hairspray. That's my trick. For mascara, I use the Clinique. This is the High Lengths Mascara. For liquid lipstick, my gosh, this is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Lipstick in the color Catnip. I set everything down with the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Again, I wanted to use a setting spray that I know works for me. I don't want to set this foundation up for failure. And then for my eyes, I've been doing a very simple eye look lately, and this is sort of my new summer routine. And I've been using the KathleenLights and Colourpop Dream Street palette, and I've just been using two colors from this palette. So Shooting Star, which is this really nice taupe transition color, and then Moony on the bottom, which is a really nice highlight color. So I've been using that. And then for inner corner highlight, this is the Colourpop Supershock Cheek Pearlized highlighter in Flexitarian. So that's what I used for the inner corner and the upper brow bone a little bit. So pretty basic products that I use and I know how they wear throughout the day. So like I said, check-in time is 2:02. We'll just cap it off at 2 o'clock. I have lots of things to do. It's 94 degrees in Pennsylvania, so let's see how this foundation wears. So I will check back in a little bit.
1 hour later.
So I did want to do just a little bit of a close-up shot so you could see sort of what my face looks like right now at the check-in time. So you can see what my face sort of looks like. I mean, you can still see my mole, you can still see some of my pores. So that's what my skin looks like.
5 hours later.
Alright, hey guys, welcome back. I just am doing my check-in for the foundation. It is currently 8:03 p.m. My phone's on 1%, living on the edge. So the foundation has been on for a total of 6 hours. So like the foundation says, this foundation should be able to be worn for 12 hours. I have gone outside. I've gone grocery shopping. It was 94 degrees outside. I ate dinner. I meal prepped. I cooked. Did a little bit of cleaning around the house, so it's definitely had its wear. I would say I would give this foundation a 6 out of 10 rating. I'm pretty oily and it's broken up pretty badly on my chin. It actually looks the worst that my chin has looked in a long time. I have pretty bad smile lines. It's really cakey around the sides of my nose, so I don't love the foundation. It does not seem to have oxidized or anything on my face. I'm just a little bit oilier than I would like to be after only 6 hours of wear. The Too Faced Peach Perfect foundation, I was hoping it would be sort of a dupe for this, and this foundation I can get a solid probably 10 hours of wear before it starts to look like this. So I'm just a little bit disappointed with that. So I think if you are somebody that has drier skin, you might like this, or if you're somebody who doesn't have such oily skin in the T-zone, if your skin's a little bit more even, you might like this foundation. So I thought I would zoom you guys in just so you could see what I'm talking about. So I'm not sure how much of it you can see, but my chin is pretty broken up right now. You can see a lot of redness peeping through because I have a lot of like rosacea on my face. You can also see the sides of my nose don't look too great, and you can probably see my smile lines and my mustache. It does look pretty good in between my eyebrows, which I also tend to get pretty oily there. It looks pretty good there. A little bit of creasing up at the top, which is also very unusual for me. I usually don't get a lot of creasing. So like I said, I give this foundation a 6 out of 10 for only $9. It's a pretty affordable foundation, but I'm definitely looking for something that's going to last all day long. I'm pretty impressed with the liquid lipstick. I didn't do any touch-ups at all, and this is what's remaining, so it looks pretty good. Alright, so that completes this video. I hope you guys liked it, and if you're interested in seeing more foundation reviews with check-ins throughout the day, leave a comment down below with some foundations you'd like to see me review. That's it for this video, and I will see you next time with another new video. Bye guys!